In our private, tranquil, countryside setting, Lantern Lane Farm offers counseling for individuals, couples, families, and groups. Our counselors are specialists in healing and will tailor their approach to each client's unique needs. Licensed and pre-licensed therapists and master's level counseling students can integrate courses within a client session as needed to aid in the therapeutic process. Using a sliding scale fee, mental health services at Lantern Lane are affordable for all. Equine-assisted psychotherapy and learning brings people outdoors, engaging all the senses as the horse's peaceful presence helps with trust building and practicing vulnerability. Horses are keen observers, vigilant and sensitive to movement and emotion. They can act as a mirror, providing emotional feedback while helping clients to be calm and present in the moment. Lantern Lane is a nonprofit 501c3 charity. Founded in 2004, our mission is to provide rest and restoration to those who need emotional, spiritual, and physical healing through traditional and equine-assisted counseling services. We meet you where you are, providing non-judgmental, Christ-like care to all in need.
So the number of people that Dolly has been present for is outstanding. It's unbelievable. She's been there for people who have experienced PTSD, all kinds of trauma, and she's always there. She's so present.
She's carried people through a lot of grief.
She is our grief force. What brought me to this place was, as I was teaching, I loved working with kids, but felt very strongly about working with the whole family. And part of going into the counseling profession was a result of my own work and some things that I had to get worked out in my own life. Several years ago, I found myself sitting in a counselor's office dealing with some things that I had carried for many, many years. And I remember him referring me to a book by Henry Nouwen. It was called The Wounded Healer. And in that book, Henry Nouwen talked about how we can sit in our wounds and we can allow those wounds to define us, or we can allow those wounds to be a catalyst of health in the lives of other people. And so at that point in time, I think that was the drawing card for me to move, to change careers. And so I went back and pursued a graduate degree in marriage and family therapy.
I think one of the most beautiful things about this place is we have the opportunity to work with people from all avenues of life and never turn anyone away that comes to us for services.
One of the things that's been most affirming is that while people are finding healing here, it's also been healing for us, right, as we've watched them grow. It's been the thing that's kept us moving forward, even in those times where we weren't for sure what to do. There would inevitably be someone who would come and say, "This is the safest place in the world for me." One of our values at Lantern Lane Farm, our major value, is that people find safety at this place. And we meet people where they are. It doesn't matter how broken they may be or how broken they may feel. We meet them here where they are, in whatever condition, whatever they're walking through, we meet them where they are. Lantern Lane Farm is a place where we accept everyone. There's no one turned away. It's a place where people can find rest. It's a place where people can breathe. Lantern Lane Farm is truly a place where healing happens.
In 2010, our founders shared their vision for the future. They believed that investing in mental health services would be needed as demand would continue to grow. As a result, plans to build Elijah's Place were shared with our community. It would be a grand facility built behind the Cook's property dedicated to counseling and equine therapy. True to their vision, needs have grown, but God had a different plan for how Lantern Lane would respond. As more and more staff joined the practice over the past decade, we've stayed focused on providing for our community's mental health needs. The farmhouse was renovated in 2018, yielding 12 offices, and the garage in 2020 now includes space for groups as well. Our property, under a rental agreement, is now fully dedicated to therapy. Ralph and Joni moved to nearby Lebanon in 2018. Elijah's place may look different than the concept drawings, but in fact, our farm has more office space than was originally included in the plans for Elijah's place, and the demand for counseling continues to climb. Now, with 23 practitioners, therapists on our farm setting are making a positive impact in helping end the stigma often associated with seeking mental health support. We have 14 professional counselors on staff and 9 master's level counseling students working toward completion of their counseling degrees. Because of the farm's non-clinical setting, a visit feels like one is focusing on healing and wellness. For adults, and perhaps especially children, a check-in with a trusted ally to focus on one's emotional well-being is a positive investment in self-care.
So Anna, introduce us to your friend.
This is one of my co-therapists. This is Lady, and she works with us a lot in our sessions.
Explain to us a little bit what equine therapy is and why it's effective.
So equine therapy is when we use the horses as part of the therapeutic process. So that means that we might do kind of a talk therapy out in the arena with the horses or out in the field. Or we might do some different activities, kind of walk through some obstacles. Does she know what you want? Help people develop that ability to see their life in a little bit of a different light. And it also allows people to have a deeper connection, and they step into it, and it's a very different experience than in-room counseling. It is something where it's a lot easier to get distracted when you have a horse next to you and to drop that facade, drop that mask. Whereas in-room counseling, it's a little easier to kind of hold that up. And horses respond to honesty and truth. And so we can tell by how the horse is responding kind of where the person is in their story and how they're feeling what they're expressing. I had a client that I stepped in with on equine therapy, and yes, and she was struggling to express herself in session, and so our therapist thought equine therapy might help. So we pulled out one of the minis, and what we found was the mini would stay calm and graze right next to her and be happy until she got emotional, and then the mini would take off running. And so we were able to tell from the mini's behavior the moments in her story that were actually the emotional moments that they needed to focus on. And after that session, there was some dramatic change because they were actually able to find the pieces of the story that meant something that they needed to focus on. Personally, my favorite stories are the ones, I get a lot of people that have given up on counseling, given up on therapy, and who are like, this is my last resort. And so I've seen people who have been in counseling for 2 years or more and have seen no change come in, and in 2 sessions find a dramatic change. But my favorite moments are those aha moments where a piece of their story makes sense. Yeah. Wow, I just got through that obstacle. I didn't think I could make it through that. Okay, I just figured out. I just have to keep pushing through and keep working. They look at me and they're like, wait, that horse is me.
Because no one is turned away due to their financial limitations, your donations are critical to helping those in need receive counseling. We believe that compassionate communities will help provide access to therapy for people who otherwise could not afford services. Donations make it possible for us to dedicate our practice to our community's needs. Recent tragic events illustrate how imperative it is that Lantern Lane Farm be here when needs arise. Whether it's a community grieving together the traumatic loss of a child's life, or people's needs for mental health support as a response to the impacts of tornadoes, or help for those who experience anxiety, depression, and panic over things like the coronavirus pandemic. Lantern Lane Farm is a place to go for therapeutic support. It's a safe place within our community that's there when we need it. Because of your help, during the past 15 years, people in our communities have received thousands of hours of therapy services at Lantern Lane Farm. Because of your help, clients experiencing marital crisis, trauma, depression, anxiety, survivors of physical, emotional, or sexual abuse, and people carrying burdens from neglect, loss, or any of life's challenges have a place to go.
It's because of your help that I found hope and a sense of self-worth.
It's because of your help that Lantern Lane has brought me closer to God.
It's because of your help I have found my voice.
First responders have a place to go.
To have the hope to carry on.
Because of your help, I learned to believe in myself.
Because of your help, I got my son back.
That I was able to move forward in life.
It's because of your help that I have grown within myself and found my very own forever family.
It's because of your prayer support and financial gifts that these people and hundreds of others have been able to find a place of healing and peace and safety. Your donation helps to provide thousands of hours of care and counseling to people all across Middle Tennessee. I want to invite you to help us make one of the best years ever for Lantern Lane Farm as we provide children, adults, and families with that place of safety, that place of healing and comfort and care.